Now, I want to rank my 8 best passing offenses going into the 2023 NFL season. Now, these are based on how much talent is in the receiving core at tight end. If you got a great quarterback, a good offensive line as well, that boosts you up a little higher. So starting with number 1, I got the LA Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers, they're going to have one of the best passing offenses in the NFL this year. You got Justin Herbert, who's one of the best QBs in the game. And plus, do you know who he has as his offensive coordinator now? Kellen Moore. What does Kellen Moore like to do? Throw the football downfield. You're going to have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, fully healthy. And then you got Quentin Johnston. You got one of those old school basketball teams. You got a lot of size. You got Quentin Johnston and Mike Williams, who not only are really athletic, but they have fantastic size. And when you look at the size of Quentin Johnston with Mike Williams, ooh, that's going to be nasty. And not just do they have those guys at receiver, but they also have pretty good depth. Joshua Palmer was a guy who was really consistent when Keenan Allen and Mike Williams both had missed time last year. So look out for the LA Chargers offense this season in 2023. And I almost forgot Austin Eckler. He's one of the best all-around running backs in the NFL right now. So for the Los Angeles Chargers, they come in at number 8 for me. I got the Jags coming in at number 7, man. Now, when you look at the Jaguars, you got Trevor Lawrence, who right now is in ascension mode. And what ascension mode is when a quarterback is starting to elevate. He's starting to really hit his stride. Trevor Lawrence is in that mode where right now he's about to show us where he's going to be for the foreseeable future in terms of where he ranks amongst the NFL's best. Is he going to be a top 3 quarterback? Is he going to be a top 5 quarterback? Or is he going to be one of those slightly above average QBs who aren't capable of being able to get the job done? Now, for Trevor Lawrence, he has a really good supporting cast. You got Calvin Ridley, who I'm saying it right now is most likely going to be a top 5 receiver this year. Not just am I saying it, but James Jones has said it. Devontae Adams has considered Calvin Ridley to be a top 5 receiver. You look at the fact that the Jaguars also have Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram at tight end, and Zay Jones. They got a really good receiving core and a really good group of weapons for Trevor Lawrence to get the football to. And you got Travis Etienne in the backfield. He's also really good in the passing game. Your only concern is how this offensive line is going to hold up. The Jaguars come in at number 7 for me. I think this is going to be a really good offense. Number 6, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of Chiefs fans are going to get upset. They're going to say we deserve to be much higher, but there's some concerns with this team. Donovan Smith, he's an inconsistent left tackle. He's not a bad offensive tackle, but he's not a great offensive tackle. He can play good at times, but we're going to see how good he's going to be with Kansas City this year. You brought in Jawan Taylor at right tackle. We'll see how that plays out, but your offensive line overall is pretty good. But at wide receiver, you have a lot of unproven talent. And that's why I have you at number 6. Because the teams that are ahead of you on these rankings, they have more talent at wide receiver. That's been more productive and more proven with higher upside. Now, you got guys like Justin Ross, Kadarius Toney when he's healthy, Sky Moore, who have a lot of potential to be really good. But they haven't really shown a lot so far. And Justin Ross, he's making a lot of plays so far throughout training camp, but is he going to be able to put it all together once the regular season comes around? You got Rashee Rice, rookie out of SMU. I liked him a lot when he was coming out, but is he going to be able to play out for Kansas City? There's a lot of young, unproven talent. There's a lot of potential, but is that potential going to turn into production? And you do have Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, so you already know this offense is still going to be able to have success, but I just don't know if they're going to have as much success as the other teams ahead of them, at least right now, at this stage of the offseason. So I got the Kansas City Chiefs at number 6. The Baltimore Ravens are coming in at number 5. I already know you Chiefs fans are going to be really upset. You're going to be like, JT, how the hell are you going to put the Baltimore Ravens over us? Odell Beckham? Really? Yeah. You mean to tell me that Odell Beckham isn't better than any receiver on Kansas City right now? Come on. If OBJ was playing for the Chiefs, he would be their number 1 wideout. OBJ has him. They got Zay Flowers, who was my number 1 rated receiver coming out. You got Rashad Bateman, who when he's healthy, he should be really productive. And then when you look at the talent that they have at tight end, everybody knows about Mark Andrews. But y'all don't know about Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely had a really solid rookie season. And now he's going into his second year at Todd Monken's offense. And you pick up Todd Monken to be your OC to replace Greg Roman? Greg Roman was really good getting the most out of the run game, but he sucked when it came to getting production out of the passing attack. Todd Monken is one of the best OCs when it comes to producing high-level passing games. The Baltimore Ravens have Lamar Jackson at QB. LaMarvelous is going to be in store for another MVP season. You want to know why? Because he has Todd Monken as his OC. He has a legitimate offensive coordinator who's going to be able to help take his game to the next level. And he now actually has a talented supporting cast around him. That's been the biggest reason why Lamar Jackson has came up short in the playoffs, because he hasn't had the same amount of talent as other quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. Now, Lamar Jackson is working with an even playing field. This Ravens offense, I can't wait for this season to start, because Todd Monken is going to show y'all why he's one of the best offensive minds in the game right now. A lot of people forget what he did when he had the opportunities to call plays during Dirk Cutter's final season with the Buccaneers. They had the number 1 passing attack in the NFL that season with Jameis Winston and Ryan Fitzpatrick. Todd Monken with the Lamar Jackson at quarterback? Y'all don't know what y'all in for. And for the people who are saying that they are way too high, just wait. Just wait. Because I promise y'all, for all you guys who keep calling Lamar Jackson a running back and saying he can't throw, wait until this season starts. The Seattle Seahawks are ranked at number 4. This passing attack is going to be so nasty this year. You get JSN with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and a lot of people are forgetting about Noah Fant. And they got a really good offensive line too with Geno Smith. They're going to have one of the best passing attacks in the NFL this year. They already have one of the best receiving corps in the NFL. Now that they have JSN, oh JT, we haven't seen JSN play a game. When you look at some of the best receivers in the NFL, what do they all have in common? Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, route running. The best receivers in the game are elite route runners. Cooper Kupp, what is he? An elite route runner. The best wideouts in the NFL are great route runners most of the time. And you look at JSN, he was a really phenomenal route runner. He may not be superior athletically, but he gets open, he creates good separation, he has a high football IQ. And you look at him playing in the slot with Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf lining up outside of him, and Noah Fant at tight end, with Geno Smith throwing him the football. Y'all sleeping on Seattle's offense this year. I'm telling y'all, y'all sleeping on the Seahawks. The Seahawks quietly have turned Russell Wilson into a Super Bowl contender. Quietly. And not a lot of people want to admit it. Not a lot of people want to give Seattle their props. You got people on here saying that they need to get rid of Pete Carroll. Like, Pete Carroll is about to win another championship before he retires. For real, this Seattle Seahawks offense is really nice. and even their defense, but this is about passing attacks right now. Seattle's passing attack this upcoming NFL season is going to be one of the best in the NFL. JSN in the slot with Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf on the outside and Geno Smith throwing dimes. Y'all sleeping on Seattle's offense, man. Y'all really are sleeping on the Seahawks offense. This is a really talented offense. They got a lot of good players on the offensive line at wide receiver. Y'all better look out for Geno Smith when it comes to the MVP discussion because he's a legitimate dark horse, man. Philadelphia starts out my top 3. They got a great offensive line. As a matter of fact, this is the best offensive line in the NFL. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, arguably the best receiver duo in the NFL. And they got a really underrated pickup in free agency. They got Amalé Zaccheaus. He has really good speed. He was really productive for Atlanta, which was an offense that struggled in the passing game. He's going to be an upgrade from what they had at the slot receiver last year. Quez Watkins, he still brings you a lot of speed, but he doesn't really have secure hands that you can trust in big moments. This is a really nice receiving core with the best offensive line in the NFL and Jalen Hurts. And word on the street is that Jalen Hurts isn't done. He's getting better. Last year was a warm-up. That's what the Philadelphia Eagles coaching staff is saying. They're saying that Jalen Hurts is going to improve as a passer. If Jalen Hurts improves as a passer, he could be the second best quarterback in the league up there with Joe Burrow. He may dethrone Joe Burrow. And then you add DeAndre Swift at running back, who's going to be an upgrade from Miles Sanders when he's healthy because of what he brings to the passing game with his ability to catch the football out of the backfield and line up in the slot. The Seahawks offense is going to be nice, but the Philadelphia Eagles offense could be even nicer this season. Number 2, I got the Miami Dolphins. Now, their offensive line really bugs me. It really, really bugs me. I do not like the Miami Dolphins offensive line, but outside of that, this offense that the Miami Dolphins have going into this year is going to be one of the most explosive offenses that we've seen in recent memory. They have the fastest team in the NFL. You got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Chosen Anderson, Braxton Berrios at wideout. You drafted Devon A-Chain out of Texas A&M, Raheem Mostert. Ooh, this finna be a NASCAR team. I'm trying to tell you, it may not matter if the Dolphins got a bad offensive line this season. You wanna know why? Because defensive lines are not gonna have enough time to get pressure on Tua. And who's gonna have enough time to get to these receivers in the open field? This is the NASCAR of the NFL. The Miami Dolphins, they got a track team this year. They got a NASCAR squad that they're putting out on the football field. Say what you want to say about Tua, but you got to give him his props. He was a runaway MVP candidate at one point last season. And yes, I do mean when I say he was a runaway MVP at one point last season. When the Dolphins got out to that hot start, don't act like you don't remember how everybody was saying that Tua was the runaway MVP winner or he was the MVP frontrunner. Because there were people who were saying that on ESPN and FS1. And you can go look it up for yourself. Look up Tua Tagovailoa midseason MVP and you will see these things popping up. You better stop sleeping on that boy Tua. He done beefed up. He done got his weight up. It's kind of a little bit different looking at Tua Tagovailoa now with him being a little bit choked up. The Miami Dolphins offense, even though I don't like this offensive line, it may not matter because they have so much speed. They're going to be able to get the ball out fast, and these receivers in space are going to be scary because of their getaway speed. I cannot wait to watch the Miami Dolphins offense this season. This is one of the most anticipated offenses that I have ever witnessed, or I don't even know how the hell you say that, man. This is the most anticipation that I've ever had for an offense going into a season, man. There we go, man. What the hell was I saying a couple minutes ago? Yeah, but anyway, the Dolphins are coming in at number 2. Number 1, I gotta go with the Cincinnati Bengals, man. Listen, I know a lot of you guys are getting tired of all of the Joe Burrow love that I'm out here giving, but you gotta be honest. Don't act like Joe Burrow isn't one of those guys. Jamar Chase, he's one of those guys too. T. Higgins, he is also. Tyler Boyd, he's underrated. And they probably have finally figured out their answer to their offensive line woes that have hampered them their previous 2 seasons. Last year, they tried to improve the offensive line. They did spend a lot of money on it in free agency, but some of those guys going into the postseason were injured. And then La'el Collins, he was injured and he kind of was a whiff. Now, he potentially could be starting this year at right tackle, but you also going to have Jonah Williams competing for playing time at right tackle this year. He's moving over from left to right. He could have been traded, but nobody wanted him because Orlando Brown is going to be replacing him this year. And Orlando Brown, although he is a little inconsistent, he still is one of the best left tackles in the NFL, and he's better than anything that the Bengals have had at that position for a very long time. The Bengals offense, now that they're going to have a legitimate offensive line in front of Joe Burrow, he's going to have all day to throw the football, and this is going to be an offense that's going to generate a lot of big plays in the passing game. You already know how deadly this receiving core is and how great Joe Burrow is, and now that he has a legitimate O-line in front of him, he probably is going to end up putting up MVP numbers this season. So I got the Cincinnati Bengals having the number 1 passing attack in the NFL this season. So let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment section down below. Do you guys think that I have a couple of these squads too high? Do I have a couple of squads too low? Or there's some teams that I left off here that you feel should be included on this list? Let me know down in the comment section down below.